Bye.
Hi, I'm Rich Gallup, and I have in my hand a PSP. Ricardo, what you got over there?
I have one in a bag.
Oh, man. Ryan, what you got going on?
My man Craig's bringing me one right now. Why don't you bring it over here?
Go right ahead, sure.
So, for those of the folks joined us last week, of course, we had a little PSP special from Japan. Me, Ricardo, Jeff flew over there to be there for the Japanese launch of the PSP, and it was something else, wasn't it, Ricardo?
It was. I was really surprised.
We have a great show today. We have not only more PSP info, because with that little bit we did with the PSP last week on the show, as well as the coverage that we had throughout the week, we've got nothing but tons and tons of questions and tons of people asking us more and more about the PSP. And so today we're going to show you a live look at what this little device can do. Basically, we broke down all the questions we could, and we're going to basically run through all the different things it does. But before we do that, we actually have some other stuff to discuss. We're going to be talking about what today?
We're going to be talking about a whole lot of football. Actually, not a whole lot of football. We'll be talking a whole lot about the PSP, but we'll be talking a little bit about football. Bryan Ekberg will be out here, sports editor. Last week, and him and I went to Las Vegas Mandalay Bay Casino, where we saw the Madden Challenge.
Yes, sir.
As well as I hear this thing going around. There's some news about like EA and the NFL signing an exclusive deal for a whole bunch of money that we don't know. I was going to make up a number, but you people will take me too seriously. So, yeah, a whole bunch of money, and now there's only been one officially licensed video game.
Supposedly, right?
Supposedly.
That's the word.
Yeah.
So we've done some digging. We're going to have a pretty interesting conversation about that stuff, as well as the cool... I watched before the show, I saw your segment on the Madden Challenge stuff. Awesome.
Those kids can game.
Dude, I need like a song that does the whole it's time to go, it's time to game. That thing's awesome. We'll have that. But right now, we should take a look at. We made some news this week.
That's right. What did we make some news for, Ryan?
Because apparently, thanks to the wonderful viewers and the audience that we have, we are apparently the fan favorite when it comes to .coms and video game information. So thank you for voting for us and letting us win the Spike TV video game best website award. So that's really cool.
Do we have footage of that?
We do. Should we just go ahead and take a look at it for the folks that missed it? If we can get that queued up, and let's go ahead and take a look at it. It's real fast, so go ahead and watch it.
.6 or 4.7 million votes, I think.
Oh, yeah, really?
It was something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. We respect all the competition, but thank you, fans, for making us, at least in Spike TV's eyes, your favorite gaming
website,
online webpage publication thing.
So the other thing, you can tell I'm super excited today, and I can't tell you, it's like one of the questions that came in is like, why are you guys doing so much about the PSP? Well, it's like, you'll see in a sec here when we start jumping into it. It is just really, really cool. I can't tell you. It's just, we've had it now for what? For almost, I guess not quite a week. I guess it won't be a week until this weekend. Either way, we've had it for like a half a week. And the half a week that we've had it, we can't really stop talking about it. We can't stop playing it. Can't stop looking at it. So
I've had one for about 15 minutes, and the whole show, I'm sorry, I'll probably just be looking like this because I got Ridge Racers in here, and I'm gonna be playing it the whole show. I got the crazy wannabe iPod headphones that look cool, and later on we'll be doing some Wi-Fi with this, right?
That's right. We're gonna be definitely doing some Wi-Fi. We tested it out, and it is awesome. It does work really, really well. So let's just jump into it. We're gonna get into it, and we're gonna start. Let's go ahead and tell the story of what the magic of going to Japan and getting these PSPs was. I can tell you that I was like on the plane like this the whole way going, oh my god, I'm going to get a PSP. And so, Ricardo, tell us a little bit about the madness.
The madness was, we didn't really expect it. Like, we knew we had to go, we needed to pick them up. And we'd never actually been to a hardware launch in Japan before. And, since there were going to be limited quantities and... Sony kept a pretty low profile on it because they didn't want to get people into like a blood frenzy or anything, waiting for them. I wasn't really sure what we were going to see, but like that night we were coming back, small group of people in line, maybe about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, this is the line as it was. This is about 10 minutes to 6 a.m. when the stuff went on sale. Yeah. And these people started forming a line, like you said, the day before.
Saturday night?
Yeah, it was like 3 p.m. I think Jeff said he saw some people out there. And that 1202 you saw right there, that the gentleman was holding up, that was the number of people in line at that point. Believe it or not, when they started selling the PSPs, there was more people in line. Supposedly it got to be upwards of 2,000 people. Here's stuff you didn't get to see. This is stuff that we didn't get to send back because we had a limited amount of time. I was up until 5 a.m. as it was. This is the stuff in the store after you saw the one guy buy the PSP and they started selling more of them to people. The scene was just crazy. There were so many people. You can see the media's there. There's all kinds of people running around. This is the display right there where the PSP action is. You can see they got it running right there. They had one I don't even know if they have the one behind the glass there. I think somebody might have jacked it. But then there's, you see that there's Lumines, there's the games they had. There's only 6 launch games, right? Mm-hmm. So they had Lumines, they had Everybody's Golf.
Also known as Hot Shots Golf here in the States.
They had Ridge Racers. They had
Vampire
Chronicles. They had the Mahjong Fight Club, which is, we got a movie Mahjong Fight Club, just in case you wanted to see that. They got the Armored Core, or AC Formula Front.
Yep.
And
the 6, yeah,
that was the 6 right there. And it's like, there was the scene that you saw there in Japan, and those games, we busted them out. And of course, you can see on the site right now. I think Ridge Racers is still probably the most popular game. I think part of that is probably also we're getting a little technical difficulty there. But anyways, the other cool thing was that the Ridge Racers. I think the other reason that it's #1 on the site as well is also that video that you just saw, the PSP Madness. We attached it to that game space. Not being unfair or anything, but it was just like that was the place that we put it. It was kind of crazy. But anyway, so that was pretty much the scene. Let's go ahead and take another clip, because after the line, we got to see the line, we got to do that business, but we also had our stuff on pre-order, just like a lot of people in Japan did, right?
Yep.
So here's a little bit of Ricardo from Japan telling you about that process as we were doing it. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
All right, so this is part 2 of our day. You just saw a little while ago, well, for us, for you, it's just like a quick cut if Mac edited it good. You just saw us checking out the first wave of units going on sale. Now we're doing the fun part, which is picking up our pre-orders around town. Not all the stores in Japan opened at 6 o'clock in the morning. This one opened at 10, so we've sort of been doing our thing, and now we're going to make the rounds around town and pick up our stuff.
Yeah, I think so. It says ad hoc mode, so.
Okay, let me ask.
You're going to get one more later. Yes, okay.
Yeah. So that was the business of the store when we were picking them up. That was just one of the stops we had to make. Because of course, if you're going to be GameSpot and you're going to be doing some comprehensive coverage, you need as many PSPs as you can carry. so that's the business we got there. After that, pretty much, we was off to the hotel room for about, I don't know, what was it, 48 hours straight, trying to do as much as we possibly could remotely, pretty much.
Can't tell.
There was a whole lot of not sleeping and a whole lot of sitting in front of the computer, the laptops that we had, and trying to get as much, at least for me, footage and stuff. And you guys wrote up some really good impressions. I like the stuff that you guys had.
Yeah. Why don't you tell the folks at home what fun it was getting footage?
Yeah, the footage thing. So you might be wondering, you got a PSP, right? How do you get the footage off of it? It's like, if you want really good video off it, how are you going to do it? Well, it's like we thought about it long and hard before we got out there, and it was like, there's no output on this thing. And if you watch we got that really cool interview with the chief technical officer of the PSP that's on the PSP Launch Center page. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it. It's really good. The neat thing about the PSP, it does all kinds of stuff, but it doesn't output video. So what we had to do was we had to build a really specific rig that fit right on it so that our cameras could get a really good lock on it. So when you played it, it didn't go crazy when you're trying to play it and do your business. So that's pretty much the long and short of our business that we did there for that. But one of the things we didn't cover in our PSP video on last week, and one of the biggest questions, and I can't believe we forgot it, was of course the battery stuff. The battery stuff. We told you about the memory stick and all that kind of fun stuff. Now the battery on the PSP, if we can get a shot of the PSP up close, boom! It's not like an iPod. You're not stuck with the battery that's in it, and you have to charge it. So basically, you can bust out the battery. Boom! This little guy right here. It's a little lithium-ion battery, and it says that it's 3.6 volts, 1800. What is that? mAh, whatever that stands for.
Ohms?
But,
I don't know.
But the cool thing, the breakdown of it is basically that, you can pop these in and out. I tried it, somebody was saying somewhere that you could like hot swap it or do something crazy, like maybe put it in sleep mode and then like pop this battery out and then put another battery in. I tried it today, that doesn't work. It's like, you pop the battery out and the thing turns off, so. But whatever, if your battery was dying, I guess you could save wherever you were, depending on what game it was, right?
Yeah.
And then you just put a new battery in. Either way, this thing charges in what? We tested it a few times.
An hour and a half, 2 hours.
It's pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
It's not too bad. And then as far as the consumption goes, you want to tell the folks how it ranges from game to game?
It's really going to vary on whether or not the game actually accesses the drive a lot, because that's pretty much what kills it. Like Lumines and Vampire, you can go real far on. On the flight back, even though like we're all drifting in and out of consciousness, I didn't actually have to change my battery. because I was ready to roll like Chewbacca with the bandolier of them, just in case. But actually, one battery got me home.
And how long was that flight?
It was 8.5 back.
8-ish, yeah. Basically, something like Ridge Racer, it's going to hit the drive a little harder because it's going to have to load a lot of stuff. So then you can see like the really awesome time that I got on the plane, kicking back a little bit. But maybe 2-3 hours, maybe more. It's going to depend really on like what you're doing.
Now the other thing, like speaking of what you're doing, let's go ahead and talk. There's one thing I wanted to kind of clear up for folks at home, and we'll get another close-up shot if we can of this little analog stick here. Now, you probably heard Jeff, and Jeff actually, I wish Jeff was here today. He wasn't able to come in because he's suffering from the not feeling too good after doing crazy stuff in Japan and stuff. So here's this business. This is the analog stick. Now, if you remember the one thing that we were talking about before we came in, or I guess it was 2 weeks ago, was Jeff was talking about this is not an analog stick, but in fact, after talking to the developers and the CTO of the PSP, it is in fact an analog stick, a very true analog stick. The one thing, and probably part of the confusion that we had or people had, is it doesn't really tilt like the PS2 and the PS2 and the original PlayStation 1 analog sticks. It's just a disc. So if you remember the Nintendo Entertainment System, they had this little controller. Rich pointed out the other day too. That they had, you used to use it for hockey, right? The NES Max.
Totally.
It was kind of cool for hockey, right?
Yeah, I liked it. It made the fat guy move.
And so this thing kind of spins around. It's like a little disc. And so I think it's two things really, Ricardo. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think it might be that it's totally new. So with the PS2, if I can't really remember whether the analog stick when the first games came out for the original PlayStation 1, how sensitive it was, or if it was kind of the same on all the games. Do you remember? It's a long time ago.
Yeah, we're old. No, I think it always kind of felt that way.
It always felt pretty solid?
Yeah.
So I was just guessing. It's pure speculation. I could be totally crazy. I think it's probably that it's something new. I think it's maybe something developers are all kind of trying out and getting used to and kind of running on themselves a little bit. And so maybe that's why there's some difference between some of the games. But no, it's true analog. It's just that it doesn't tilt. It just kind of slides around. And it takes a little getting used to. And we'll show you it in action in just a little bit. So should we move on? We talked about a little analog. Should we go ahead and show the folks a little Wi-Fi action?
We ready to do that already?
I think so.
I think I've practiced enough. I'm ready to get destroyed.
You got the Ridge Racer action going?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've discovered the hard way I can't read Japanese, so it's gonna take me a while to probably find the menu.
Give me your.
While you guys do that, I'm gonna pop in my copy of Ridge Racers and see if we can't get our. And so for the folks at home that hasn't seen these things up close, I mean they're just they're just smaller DVD cases basically, or any kind of game case, and they just have the UMD sitting there and pop out. The one weird thing is like when you pop the UMD out, is like the UMD does have that open port like we showed you, so you got to be careful because like if you aren't, you could actually kind of get your finger underneath there when you're popping it out and get your little thumb on the disc itself. But actually I haven't done it yet, and I'm probably the most likely candidate to jack my PSP first. Although
I'm currently using our man Homer's PSP, and Homer the other day kind of dropped this. And I'm going to be honest with you, by the way, we're always taking your questions here on the spot. The GameSpot Complete Member Fill out the form of the question right now. But we have a question here from Mr. Shupon in New York City that says, have you experienced, seen, or heard about any of the rumored defects with the handheld? Like the analog nub falling off, buttons not working properly, music not playing in the right place, or the UMD popping out. Well, I know Homer dropped his and is working fine. Have you guys seen any defects or anything? Or
I think one of them might have a dead pixel, right?
Yeah, it's basically what's going to happen at a hardware launch. They got to get the units out, so every once in a while there's going to be some trouble. I know some folks are a little bit out of shape because they really threw down a lot of money to get these. But it's kind of the downside to being an early adopter, because I remember just about every system I've ever bought in Japan has had something up with it. So it's kind of par for the course. But yeah, there's reports of a bunch of different things going on.
But other than that one dead pixel, we really haven't had anything.
Yeah, not with us. But I've been checking online. There's some folks that are not happy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, that's a bummer.
Someone in the forums actually has a SIG of a disc popping out while someo's playing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the
I don't
UMD?
know who it is, but yeah, the UMD is straight flying out.
Wow, that's crazy.
But
totally crazy.
I would say that American consumers can take heart in that the PSP isn't coming out for some time here in the States, so maybe all this will be fixed by the time it comes out here?
Yeah, I don't think Sony would really want stuff exploding on folks. So should be fine.
All right, so I don't know if we can get a close-up shot of this business right here. I'll try to do my best to hold it steady and still for y'all. and we're going to try to get ourselves in a multiplayer match, right? So let me see if I can do this here. Bear with me here.
Okay.
It's the crazy, whole like reversal thing. So I gotta like figure that out. All right, here we go.
You got some greasy thumbs, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's the one thing about the PSP that you can definitely say is that this thing will show off every part of grease on your body. Like, if you touch it with your hand, yeah, it's like you gotta wipe it off. So here we go. Let's go to wireless battle, right? Let's get our oh, yeah, don't forget to switch on your Wi-Fi little button over here.
Is that switch up or switch down?
Switch up goes to on.
Okay.
And the reason they have that is one of the reasons is that battery consumption. One of the things that we definitely found out with battery consumption was that when you're playing Ridge Racer and you have the Wi-Fi turned on, it'll eat batteries pretty quick. And any game actually that you're playing with Wi-Fi does juice the batteries a little bit more than usual. So here's the wireless battle action. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't get it. I guess, am I going to start this game?
I should have one going.
You have one going? Is that the second? I go down to join game? Is that this one?
Yep.
All right.
Ricardo's trying to get mine
yeah.
started. I'm making like radar like mash here. Oh, I think I just found a game. Maybe.
Mine's looking for the game.
Host name blank. Battle 1.
Hit it.
Hit it.
Can't quite see your screen now.
Dot.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Whoever
you
is
guys know.
Xevious is in my game.
That's me.
Oh really?
That's cool. So
I think I'm
basically,
the-
what this says right here, what you're looking at over my shoulder,
Richard's.
is that this says I'm in the game and I'm waiting to play. The dot means wait.
Oh, Damasi is in.
Is it? Is that?
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm the Damasi.
These are clever names.
Yeah, it's like I guess it defaults. Like in the videos that we have on the site from that first night that we were playing, you'll probably notice that I think one of the names was Xevious as well, and there was another one that I was totally Tekken. I think I was the Tekken guy. And so in that video, if you saw me and Jeff were playing, and it was awesome. Actually, Ricardo was in that battle too, but me and Jeff were doing like these crazy 360 spins. I'll try to do it here too.
These cars are locked. Which car is good? The red one, the blue one, or the pink one?
I like the red one.
I'm going blue.
All right.
And I'm a wimp, so I'm going automatic.
That's fine.
Now the one thing is like I think a lot of people, even right now, it's like we're showing the PSP off pretty up close and personal. I don't think until you actually see the screen yourself that you realize just why everybody's freaking out about this thing. When you finally, and we're in the match, right?
Jim, you want to re-white balance that? Because we'll get the color. Now
Alright.
hold this rock steady.
Later.
You say later, yet my screen says position 1.
There you go. That looks better, Jim.
And now
Who's Xevious?
That's me.
Oh, I'm passing you, dude.
That's fine.
And there's like the turbo action. Like that's the one thing in this game that they did is they basically took some of the mechanics you've seen like in Need for Speed. It was like Need for Speed Underground 2, I think has that. Of course, Burnout is the one that has the business where you do a little power sliding, and you can see those little 3 bars right there. That's the little nitrous oxide. So once you do enough power sliding, you're good at power sliding. You get those nitrous going. Boom! You kick it into gear and you start flying. And it does the cool little blur effect and everything.
I'm gonna totally Paul Walker all over this course.
I'm gonna turn my music up since you guys got yours down, okay?
Oh, mine's up. I'm just wearing
really?
headphones.
And Ricardo's speed, right?
I am.
Oh yeah, you're getting past.
I'm the one in the way back. Let's try this.
Yeah.
Jim, you may want to watch someone else's screen since I'm so bad at this game. But
Hey, you might want to come this way. I'm the first.
yeah. There you go, Jim. Switch on over.
All right, so check this out. While Jim's switching up, I'm gonna.
I can actually concentrate on playing this now.
Let's see if I can do some 360s. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can do this. You watching, Jim? You getting on that business? All right, here we go. I'll wait until you get your shot set, and then I'll try to get my 360 business on. Oh, if I can't, like, not hit the wall. All right, here we go. 360, ready? Oh, wait, no, that didn't work out. Let me wait for a turn. Over, Jesus. Here we go, here's a turn.
I'll let everyone know now that I know a lot of people watching the show don't have much faith in my gaming abilities, but I am now in first.
Here comes the 360. Oh, what's up? Oh, I didn't pull it off real gracefully, though. Let's see if I can't hit this turbo. Catch up. Oh, there we go, baby. All right, so the 3 of us are sitting here playing Wi-Fi. That's pretty good. No lag, right? It's working pretty good for you guys?
Yeah, it's working good.
All right, should we go ahead and try the next test, which, of course, is let's see how far this thing works?
Totally.
Sure.
All right, so I think I'm the man that's wearing the wireless mic, so I'll get up and see if I can't, like, walk on. All right, you guys keep playing.
Okay.
You might want to hold on because we're on the 3rd lap.
Oh, yeah, why don't you guys hold on?
Fine.
I'm going to see if I can't pull the one mic I have on off. Let's see. All right. Sorry if this makes a bunch of noise for y'all. Huh? All right, let's see. You ready? Who's coming with me? The Jim or Jim's gonna come with me. All right. Let's see if we can't do this. Now we did test this. We did test this when we were in Japan, and it worked super far. Like straight up 30 meters, I guess is what we were saying, or that's what they were saying. And it's true. So
Rewipe on that, Jimbo.
So we're doing. You come with me? Which way you want to go? You want to go straight up this way?
I say go towards the kitchen.
Toward the kitchen?
Yeah. And don't show my desk or my mom will kill me.
All right. Here, come on. All right. So we're still playing here. You guys got me just fine, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So you can see where we're at. You can get an idea. There's the studio. So you can see I'm taking normal people's steps. It's nothing crazy. And I'm still connected. Now the one thing that should be telltale sign of us being like starting to get disconnected is like the lag. You'll start to see that it'll start to chunk up. But as you can see, we're getting pretty far and it's still working pretty good. And I'm still racing. And I'm hard, racing and walking. So I don't think that's anything crazy. But I'm going the business, still doing good, and we're still pretty far back. Oh yeah? Yeah, I'll keep going, all right. That's as far as my cameraman can go right now. But I'm going, it's still working good. You can see the little lights blinking. I think it's maybe saying that I'm getting a little too far away. But it's still working, What's up, how you doing? It's still working. Yeah, it's still working. Oh, wait, there it goes. Now it stopped working. That's where it stopped. So it actually stopped working about here when the little light came on. So to get an idea, actually, if you want to turn around and show people how far, I guess I can walk. We can go walk back, but it's like So it did disconnect, but it does work super far. And there's a bunch of stuff. And I mean, you can imagine that the GameSpot offices are probably pretty crazy with a lot of technical stuff. So there's a lot of crazy wires and a lot of interference, but it did work out pretty good. It works pretty far. Some of the developers were telling us that they actually could use this thing through a cement wall and still get the 30 meters distance. And that's totally about 25, 30 meters. And it worked out pretty good, yeah? Everybody?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, how'd you do? Did you make it?
What do you mean?
Were you still racing with us?
No, it finally dropped out.
Oh, it did? I was too busy winning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
To notice, but that's cool.
It was hard walking and
I understand
playing.
it's cool. And it's fine.
So that's the Wi-Fi action.
That's great.
I think that's a pretty good demo.
Yeah, that's
I think
a great
we're doing
demo.
Good. You wanted to play some Luminous.
I do want to play some Luminous.
Oh, you do?
Actually, I think Ricardo wants to play some Luminous because he knows how to play that game.
He's
and
much better
if
than
I
I
put in a puzzle game, I'm just going to look foolish. Do you need this copy?
I do.
All right, cool. Oh, is this right here?
But I think that's the one I pulled out. But this might be the same thing.
Okay, let's get that one because I definitely just put my thumb on the.
All right, no, that's the same one.
Disc. All right, cool, great. Hopefully, is that going to ruin anything?
Thumbprint on the disc.
I did not design the disc. I just picked it up, and that's where it went.
You're soiling the inside of my PSP.
If we get a camera that will get us a nice close-up of Ricardo playing Luminous right here while you load it up.
Yeah.
And please keep sending in your questions. I know Homer's scrambling all over the place printing them up right now.
Do you got some more questions?
Sure, let me see if I have some more PSP questions.
Alrighty. Now, the one thing we're going to show you while Rich looks for questions right after this is we're going to show you some of the video action. Actually, while you're doing that stuff, if you guys aren't ready, I can show the video now.
Sure, show some video now.
Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll show something now.
All right, Jim's back.
Oh, Jim's over here.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, so check this out. In a second, I will get up and show you actually the process of putting stuff on the PSP. Because I know that's been one of the other questions that we've been getting a lot of. Is like, hey, how long does it take to transfer and all that other fun stuff? And you can see, I got to wipe my screen off because, like, man. And you can use the cover. The case works pretty good for wiping
Does
it
it?
off, right? Yeah. Or wipe it off. Although
You still need it?
Yeah, but
it does work now.
hey. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get out of this game and go to the home. That's what the home button for. You hit the home button, and it takes you back to the main menu screen, and it tells you please wait. And it kicks you over here to the main menu, and if you've got yourself some business in there, like some, and I'll show you what I got on here. I've got some video. This is of course the video that we did while we were in Japan. You've got a bunch of stuff that you can do here. You can hit the triangle button, and you can go into screen mode, and you can tell it I want it to stretch to full widescreen. I want it to be full screen, which is of course the one widescreen is of course not cutting off the top. This one actually is the one that doesn't cut off the top, which is why the aspect ratio looks a little squished. You can change it. This is the original. Pick it up a little bit bigger, make it normal. Of course, back to the zoom. And you can see you have a bunch of controls. You have the controls right here on the screen, so you can do frame, you can do slow motion, fast forward, reverse, stop, all that fun stuff. Or you can just hit the D-pad here, forward 1, forward 2, forward 3, and then hit the circle button to play. And yeah, it works really, really good. And you can see, I wish my screen, let's see. Let me turn up the brightness color here. There you see the brightness comes up. Here's the 3 levels again. I know a lot of people were asking about that. 1, 2, 3. That's the bright level. A lot of people were asking about that. But yeah, I can't tell you, the video playback works real, real good. And then let's hit the home button and go back. You can see that there's the music. I got some music on there, but we showed you that. The one thing I want to show you that we didn't show you last time was the photo stuff. I've done a bunch of cool pictures, and here's one of them.
Oh,
yeah, that's my son for his birthday last time. We let him get a little crazy with the cake. This is, once again, you can hit the triangle button, and you can stretch these images to make it full screen, so there's the full mode. You get rid of that stuff. But you can see, I mean, once again, it's one of those things I don't think you can really appreciate until you see it firsthand. But just to give you an idea, yeah, there's the garage. That's a Mortal Kombat machine. You got that. See, you skip this ahead. There's him running around with the toilet paper. Yep, little dragon suit. But yeah, that's pretty much the photo stuff. I mean, I can show you my whole family and stuff. But no, the photo stuff works real, real good. And I'll show you how to put that stuff on there in here in just a sec. I think you guys got Lumines going.
Yeah,
right?
totally. Ricardo, why don't you tell us a little about Lumines while Jim gets to walk over here and peer over your shoulder? It's a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle game.
Made by
Q Entertainment, which is Tetsuya Mizuguchi's new company that he's doing in partnership with Bandai. For folks of you that follow Sega, and there's quite a few of you, you'll recognize him as being the guy behind Sega Rally, Space Channel 5, and more importantly Rez, which actually has a lot of impact on this game because he got some of the old crew from Rez to work on this.
Very cool, so we can expect
craziness. And I will show you that now.
Fire it up. Can't wait.
I'm going to hop into skin mode just to give you an idea. So basically when you start the game, you're going to have these different graphical appearances to it. Each time you clear a level, you open up a new skin. We've only opened, what's this, 2, 4, 6, 8. We've only got 8 open on this one. But each skin is tied to a song because as the song finishes, it'll load up a new song and all the graphics will change. And the crazy thing is, we're talking to him and he said it was what, 40?
It was 40 or 50, actually, yeah.
It's 40 or 50 skins to unlock. I will tell you now that we do not have those yet.
It's a hard game.
But yeah, the game itself it's just really easy, but
it's deceptively.
But
it's
not.
It's you get the concept, stuff falls down, you put it in order, and you try to get it. But then, go ahead and tell them the trick, though.
Basically, you have this line that keeps going across the screen.
Pump up the volume. That music's way too good.
All
right. So you got your grubby hand, my PSP. I'm going to have to shine it now.
Your screen is actually nice and clean.
Yeah, that's why I didn't touch the screen.
I don't let people touch my stuff. So basically, this line goes across and it erases, a group of 4. If you can get variables of it, you can have even more. So, check it out. I have 2 there, and I'm about to drop a 4. And see, now I have 2, and now I've got 3. Plus
yeah.
Yeah. And it gets progressively harder. The music's really cool. It's a lot of it's Japanese artists, which, I think for a lot of game fans, you guys are probably pretty familiar with this kind of music anyway. But as you can see, the skin is kind of crazy. They have all kinds of impressionistic stuff, but just to give you an idea of just the variety in it.
Sure.
So that was 1, right?
Right.
So
1 out of 40 or 50.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that had a very specific look.
Right.
But then you've got something like this one.
Was that Please Return My CD?
It is.
That is a great name.
Yes. So you've got this, which is the same basic idea, but
oh man,
everything looks different. And sorry, it's very difficult to speak and do this at the same time and
understandably,
and not get smacked.
You're doing a good job.
But yeah, I mean, it's really deceptively simple, but it's a lot of fun, and I think more than anything, I don't think we really expected the sound to be as good as it is, just because in a lot of ways the PSP is forcing you to kind of rethink your expectations for a handheld. We sort of, after years of the GBA, we sort of knew what what to kind of expect at a handheld, which was decent sound in some cases, like really good sound, but nothing that was like stereo quality.
Right.
But that's done.
Now I have what might be a basic question.
Yes.
While you're playing this game, I know you play Tetris. You're trying to get X number of lines. You play Dr. Mario. You're trying to kill X number of viruses. What goals are you heading towards here?
Clearing all the boards and unlocking all the skins.
Okay, so how long does it take? What do you have to do to clear a board? Do you have to score a certain number of points? Or?
Score a certain number of points and basically outlast the song.
Oh, okay. So the game runs for the amount of the song, not for...
Yeah.
And
So-
it looks like it'd be kind of hard to fill up that whole board.
You would think,
But-
but this is actually a pretty decent level.
Okay.
The harder ones, no, full.
Now, there's also a multiplayer component of this game.
There's like there's one simulated and one true.
Okay.
The simulated is like versus CPU.
Uh-huh.
It's basically you against CPU characters that plays pretty much just like the traditional multiplayer would. And the goal to that is really, it's a nice twist on it. Basically, every time you do combos, you make your part of the screen, because it's divided in half, you make your part of the screen inch a little bigger.
Oh, that's nice.
So the goal is to basically mash out your opponent to where they've got no space
Just
and they
squish them completely off the screen.
and they have no choice but to not be able to get rid of all the blocks falling on their side.
Nice.
So yeah,
It looks really simple, but as I bet it gets really complex in a hurry.
it's kind of insane.
Great.
Yeah,
Are you up for taking some questions?
sure.
Cool. Well, Ryan gets his PC loaded so he can show you how to encode stuff. Here's a question from Alex in Sweden. He
What
wants
up,
to
Alex?
know, how's it going, Alex? The PSP is wondering, does it break if you get your thumbprint on the PSP disc, or does maybe it lag or something? Now, as you may have just seen moments ago, when I picked up Luminous, I put my thumb right on the disc. And Ricardo, how's it going?
Seems fine.
It seems fine. Now, is that something you would feel safe trying to clean off, or
Probably not so much.
probably not so much?
But haven't looked at it yet. Maybe get a cloth or something. You never know.
Is that, now, in your professional opinion, is that something you see them addressing with the U.S. launch with these discs? Are they going to put some sort of gate over that, or are they just going to leave the disc exposed like that? Or
I don't know. They might leave the disc that way, because for the most part, nothing's really changed that dramatically between, U.S. and Japanese launches of hardware to the point where
Right.
they're going to change the actual media.
I think that would take too long to do. I've heard of some, let's see, this is from one of our mods, 3, he spells his name with 2 number 3s at the end, which is very clever. He's in Canada. I've heard of some horrendous loading times with some PSP games. Any truth to this?
Yes. There are some games that will definitely make you wish they loaded faster. And it is kind of a bummer, but it's also first-generation software. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's one of those things where you take the good with the bad, and if you're going to be the first kid on the block with this, that means you're going to have the first software that, probably could have been optimized a little better.
Cool. And I just got a whole bunch of questions here. James in Milford, Connecticut wants to know, what kind of titles can we expect to be out by the time the PSP hits the States?
Well, for sure, I think a lot of the titles that you're seeing out in Japan at launch and in the weeks following the Japanese launch are pretty much safe to assume that at least some will be here. Mm-hmm. Like, we were talking to Mizuguchi, and they're hoping to bring Lumines out at some point. So, if you see it in Japan, it's like anything. If you see it in Japan, odds are somebody will probably pick it up.
Even Mahjong Fight Club?
Don't know about the Mahjong Fight Club.
Thomas Robinson in London, he says, there are a lot of buttons underneath the screen. There seems to be a lot of them, and I was wondering if they get in the way or if you press them accidentally while you play. Now, I see 7 buttons, and I can't tell you what all of them do. Start and select are obvious. I'm guessing the little music note. What's that do?
That helps make it easier when you just want to listen to music.
Okay, and the circle button, is that your screen brightness?
Yes, you
and
hit that.
Volume and home. What's home do?
Home, and it's a good time to segue. Anytime you're in a game, just press the home button, and it's like, do you want to quit the game? Yes. And it will take you out to the main menu on the system. So say maybe if you want to check, if you just want to switch between a game to watching a movie or listen to some music, you can do that.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, now your background, did you set your background to look like that, or is that because you have Luminous? Oh, that was Luminous made that happen? Oh, you do? All right, fine. Well, I'm not going to get in Ryan's way of talking about backgrounds just yet. We'll save that for you, Ryan. Okay. All right, let's see. More questions on the PSP. Kikomon in Atlanta wants to know, have you been able to watch a movie on the PSP yet? If so, how do they look?
We really wanted to, but somebody couldn't encode it quick enough for us to get on
Whatever,
the
I
plane.
got that one movie on there I showed to people.
The movie that Ryan just showed right there looked pretty solid. I'm sure when Ryan gets back, he'll tell you all kinds of resolution numbers and everything like that. It looks pretty good, and it seems pretty easy.
I just wanted to see something on the plane.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess you just had to play games instead. Poor Ricardo.
Yeah, well.
All right, let's get some more questions here. Jay in England wants to know, is there an official UK release date yet for the PSP?
Nope, you want to refer to your friendly neighborhood local Sony branch.
Oh, there you go. That'll work. Everyone wants to know about dead pixels, and you said we only had one dead pixel in how many systems?
We've had one dead pixel in one right now.
Cool. Are we ready to go over to Ryan? Jim,
Yes,
you
sir.
can work your way over to Ryan right now, and we'll take one more question while you make that walk. If go that way, that'll be good. Chris Brown in Phoenix wants to know, if I were to buy the Japanese PSP, will it be able to play US PSP games when it comes over here?
That is the mixed blessing, because it can actually, right now they're saying that there's no region lockout. So this thing is going to be able to play American games and Japanese. So that's a really bad thing if you're trying to talk yourself out of like throwing down a ton of cash and importing it.
So there are no ill effects if you imported one right now that you can tell? Really?
Except the fact, in Japanese it'd be hard to read.
All right, fine. That's true. Jim, you can walk right through. It's cool, dude. I don't mind. Can you tell us more? Ricardo Ginnerstedt in Sweden wants to know more about that little knob or disc on the PSP. Do you know more on how it works exactly?
Analog stick.
Is that basically? It's hard to show. It's a flat little disc, and you just basically you push it in whatever direction you want. It goes around in a whole circle. It doesn't click down. It doesn't tilt. It's just a flat disc that you put your finger on and you move it around. That's basically the best way I can describe how it works. Did I miss anything? It has little bumps on it.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Sweet. Are we ready to kick it over to Ryan right now? Ryan, I see you sitting over at the Let's GameSpot news desk right now with a laptop. What you got going on?
All right, I got a couple things going on, actually. I want to show you a couple things. One of the things I'm going to show you first up is a lot of people have been questioning the color, because a lot of the ads that are out there have blue screens in Japan, and people were like, well, how come all the PSP stuff you guys are showing is red? Well, it's based on the month. So if you want to take a look at this, if I change the date and time, so if I go in it, I put it as 11, boom, I get this crazy green color. If I go back into the date and time and I change it to, let's say, October, there's this cool yellow color. Go back in the date and time. Here is that's the purple color. That's the cool color too. And then, of course, we can get there's the blue color that you've probably seen in all the ads in Japan. So that's the color that everybody's going crazy over. But so there's all kinds of good color stuff that you can have in there. So it's kind of a little surprise, the new month thing. So anyways, but that's not what I'm doing over here. What I'm doing over here is I'm going to show you how to put stuff on this thing. Show you how actually easy it is. So the PSP, like an iPod or like anything else, when you plug a USB cord, such as this one, which has got the mini end right here, plug it in the top, like so. Get the other end and plug it in any laptop or PC, like so. Oh, it helps put it in the actual right port. There you go. You get that going. Your computer, just like anything, well, if you don't have a screensaver set on and have it turn off, it's like, come on. There we go. Your computer should totally plug it in, and it should be already recognized. If it's the first time you plug it in, it'll have the little Windows thing that pops up, and it's like, you got a PSP plugged in. But the thing it doesn't do is it doesn't actually, if you look into your drive section, like most things, it doesn't actually pop up just right away. What you have to do, and you can see here, is you can actually have to go into the menu. So we get a shot of the screen again. You go into the USB connection right there. Hit that, boom, it says USB mode. You look at the PC, and just like boom, it pops up and it shows you open folder to view files. You can open this, and it shows you the directory that your PSP stuff is. When you format the memory stick for the first time, it'll let you see this PSP directory. It'll create that. This MP_root, that's the movie player or media player, whatever you want to call it, _root, that's where you drop all of your video files. In the PSP folder itself, it automatically creates a game, music, photo, and save data folders. And within each one of those, of course, you'll find your corresponding files. Now, what we're going to do for this particular test is, theoretically, you can use pretty much any encoder just as long as you're encoding the right file format of MPEG-4. For this one, we have this crazy Japanese encoder that our Japanese correspondent hooked up for us, and you can see it has several different presets. One of them is this 15 frames a second preset. It throws it down to 32 kilobytes per second. The reason for that, of course, is if you want a small file, if you want to create something that takes up little space on your memory stick. I have a 512 in here right now. So for the sake of this thing, we'll go ahead and pump it up to 29 frames a second, 128 kilobytes per second. So it's pretty good quality. And it's as simple as grabbing a file. For instance, we'll go over here and grab, let's say, oh, I don't know, how about this PSP business, and we'll go to our, what did I do with that folder? Anyways, we'll find a video file here. So you can basically take any video file. Let's say if I can take this QuickTime and do it. Boom, it drops it in. Okay, you can't do it with QuickTime apparently. But I had a video file all ready to go, and then I shut my window. Anyways, you drop it. Basically, you drag and drop it in here. You see this thing count up, and it starts ticking away, and it tells you that the frame count's going through. And then what happens is it dumps it into a folder. And once you see it in the folder, you just simply go into the folder. You find the one that you want, and then you dump it straight onto the PSP by going onto my computer and going to your drive that is the PSP. Open up the folder that says, which one you want. So if you want to go in the music folder, the photo folder, you just drop it in there. Simply is like this. So I'll show you with some of the pictures. I'll take them off, and then we'll see about dropping them back on. And it'll say, yeah, sure. Yes to all. And so you can see it transfers real fast. Those are files. The movie files and the video files and the audio files, all that goes really quick. And then once you're done with that, you hit the X button on your PSP, and then it basically disconnects. And you unplug it and pull it out. And then you go in, and whatever you dropped on into those folders, you'll find right there. And it's as simple as that. It's real quick, real easy. The only thing that's tricky at all, in all honesty, is the file format, or I should say the naming convention for the video file. But enough about this. I think we're going to throw it back over to these guys, and I'm going to join them in just a sec. So, Rich, take it away.
Wonderful. Wait, you're not Ricardo, you're Bryan. What's going on, Bryan?
My hair fell out.
Due to the magic of television production, we now have Bryan Ekberg here. Bryan, and what are we going to be talking about shortly?
We're going, you and I were in Las Vegas over the weekend to cover the Madden Challenge Finals, and $50,000 went to the winner, and we had a great time. And that leads right into the big announcement this weekend, or actually the beginning of the week, when EA signed an exclusive 5-year deal to have exclusive NFL rights for the next 5 at least Madden games coming up. So it's big news at the end of the year.
Well, before we get on to that, let's see what happened last weekend at the Mandalay Bay Casino right now.
Hey, what's up, everyone? GameSpot Sports is here at the Mandalay Bay Casino in Las Vegas for the 2004 Madden Challenge Finals. 32 of the best Madden NFL players are right here competing for $50,000.
What time is it? Game time! 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 Any dogs in the house? Any dogs in the house? Any dogs in the house? What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! Yeah!
That was the scene on Saturday, but the night before the tournament, a celebrity event was held at a nightclub at the Mandalay Bay Casino. Current and former pro athletes such as Kyle Turley, Jeremy Newberry, Lennox Lewis, John Sally, Brian Cox, all made an appearance, as well as that guy from Entourage and the teacher from Punky Brewster. Some even taking on the Madden Challenge finalists in a celebrity pro-am, where contestant Anthony Booker T. Mims triumphed over Jets cornerback and 1999 Madden Bowl champion Ray Mickens. With nicknames such as Young Nephew, Ghost, The Secret, and The Natural, the roster of Madden Challenge finalists represented a tight-knit group of talented gamers. Many of the contestants in this year's finals had been there before, as the field of finalists included 2003 winner David Sandman Sidechick and runner-up Eugene Big Gene Williams. Also familiar were the teams used in the finals tourney, the most common by far being the Michael Vick-led Atlanta Falcons and the quick strike touchdown machine, the Minnesota Vikings. At this level of competition, winning games often comes down to who can exploit some of the inherent weaknesses of this year's version of Madden. As last year's winner Sandman explains, there's plenty of exploits to be found.
There's a juke glitch where you kind of angle yourself to the sideline and you juke with R1, so you can just completely run for a touchdown if somebody doesn't try to make the tackle. Then there's also the, we call it the quicksand glitch, because you just constantly formation audible and all your players get fatigued and they run slow. But that's outlawed here. They turn fatigue off, and that stops the glitch from happening. it's not like somebody comes up with a new glitch. Everything's always out there, so we're just doing it to each other, and we've got to find out the ways to stop them.
The most of the attention was reserved for the Madden tourney. A concurrent NCAA football tournament was also held over the weekend, with 16 contestants from universities all over the country. Florida State's Jesse Hannanen won out, taking out Clemson's Michael Hawkins in commanding fashion to bring home a $10,000 prize. The competition may have been just as fierce as in the Madden tournament, but the vibes seemed a lot friendlier.
NCAA is kind of cool. Like we were all talking at breakfast, and everyone's really cool. You know, we're all in college, we're all here having a good time. But the Madden guys, they're playing for 50 G's. We're only playing for 10. So they're a lot more serious than we are.
The finals of the Madden tournament between Antoine Pretty Boy Williams and Eugene Big Gene Williams was an interesting matchup of two different styles. Pretty Boy being the specialist with his deadly juke move, and Big Gene showing a more complete game on both sides of the ball. The match even had a touch of controversy when, midway through the third quarter, tournament officials discovered an illegal substitution by Pretty Boy Williams. In an unprecedented move, that TD was erased from the record and the game was reset to just before Williams' last score. In the end, Big Gene Williams prevailed, redeeming himself for 2003's second-place performance. His varied offense and accurate defensive play clearly earned him the title as Best Madden Player in 2004, and a cool $50,000.
I felt kind of good. I think I only played one part of my game bad, but other than that, I think my defense was great, my offense was great, my time control was great, time management, everything was great, except for one part, my execution at the end of the game. I need to execute a lot better. But hey, $50,000 to do.
So there you have it. The 2004 Madden Challenge here in Las Vegas is over. Little controversy, a lot of fun though, and Big Gene goes home as your champion with $50,000 in his pocket. For GameSpot Sports, I'm Bryan Ekberg.
That's some nice work there, Bryan, reporting live from the scene like that. First you're on NPR, now you're on the casino floor, Mandalay Bay.
It's just the lifestyle, man. It's all about the lifestyle.
Those kids could play some Madden.
It's like they're not even like they probably don't know that much about football, but they know how to take advantage of the game and the weaknesses in the game. And we just saw like, you know, draw play after draw play, and people using Michael Vick and Dante Culpepper to great effect. And they have these little tricks that just, you know, make them, they can basically score at will. It's like a scoring war of attrition.
Well, it seemed to me that everyone there was a huge football fan, but they almost seemed like they were like QA testers who had been playing the game forever. And would like, there was one guy who made his way, I think, to the final 8. Who his entire offense was, he was the Atlanta Falcons, and he would audible into like a field goal formation and then have Michael Vick run straight ahead for like 5 yards every play for the whole game. And that works as a strategy because it runs out the clock.
Yeah, and actually one of the finalists I mentioned in the story, Pretty Boy Williams, he had basically one move. His juke move like dominated everybody else, and he got all the way to the finals. It only took a complete Madden player to beat him. It was pretty
and Big Gene, as the report just said right there, he made it to the finals last year. He has a complete game. He was solid on defense.
Yeah.
And there was that controversy. And after the controversy, that guy, Pretty Boy, he stormed back, completely abandoned the run, completed pass after pass after pass, and looked like he was going to win because Big Gene had no momentum going, but his defense held on. For
the first 2 minutes of the game, we said Big Gene's going to run away with this, and then, you know, all this stuff happens, there's controversy, people are let off the stage. He comes back, gets the touchdown taken away from him, and he scores right away, and it turns into a game. It was pretty exciting.
I think, as a closing note, I would say it's kind of sad that, well, it's great for Big Gene. He won his $50,000. But for second place through 32nd place, everyone who got there out of 16,000, was it 6,000 or 16,000?
16, I think.
16,000 competitors. Second place through 32nd place, get that trip to Vegas, and then only $100.
Yeah, $100.
So Pretty Boy went through this tumultuous day, ups and downs, highs and lows, and he gets $100 for it.
The guy talked a lot of trash during the day, but at the end of the day, I really felt bad for him.
And everyone there, and like our man Sandman there, who was a regular viewer, he's probably watching this right now. He was defending champ, and in his match, his player dropped the winning touchdown as time expired.
Yeah, he said the guy had the ball for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, and he dropped it, and the touchdown was taken away. It's just too bad.
So for more information on the Madden Challenge, stay tuned to the site. That video you just saw will be up on the sports site soon, or just hit up Bryan and the nice little community part, talk to him about the Madden Challenge. He'll be sure to fill you in on it. Now, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Let's bring you into the conversation.
Yes, sir.
What happened earlier this week in terms of football games?
EA and the NFL announced that pretty much it was going to have an exclusive deal with each other for 5 years. Madden's going to be the one and only game that's going to supposedly have all the real teams, all the real players, stadium stats, the whole 9 yards. That means, you know, ESPN NFL 2K, that series, you know, if that's going to continue, supposedly is not going to have any real teams or players. in the coming years. So we'll have to wait and see what that means. But the announcement was, it's like mixed reactions. I think if you look at the forums have 3 topics: GameSpot winning the best video game site award, the PSP out in Japan, and Madden and NFL being exclusive.
Right.
I mean, the forums are just on fire. You can go, just do a Google search. Just do EA licenses and NFL, and it's like, especially today, a bunch of stuff came out today specifically. There was an article, I think CNN Money had an article about it. I mean, basically this is big time. Everybody's involved in this because you're talking about a bunch of money. Some reports are claiming somewhere around the neighborhood of $300,000 is what EA paid. $300 million. $300 million is what EA paid the NFL to do this, and good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't matter. That's the way it went down, and that's the way it's currently standing. Now, we've done some digging. We looked at some stuff. We wanted to see if this is, a precedent, if it's something that happened before. EA obviously has 3 licenses currently, right, Bryan?
They have FIFA, they have NASCAR, and they have the PGA Tour.
And now NFL, so that's like the 4. And so supposedly, maybe, it's not far to imagine that they would go after baseball and basketball and just close everybody out of the gap, right?
Right, and they could probably get hockey for free. They'd probably just give it to them.
Yeah, hockey knows all the help they can get right now.
I'd put in a bid for that.
Yeah, $10.
Sure.
My first bid.
I got 10. I got 11.
So I guess the one question I have for you guys, and the question I ask myself is, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this, what does this mean for gamers? I'm a huge football fan. I love my football. Whether I like my NFL 2K better or whether I like Madden better, it doesn't really matter. At this point, it's, there's going to be one game out there that's going to have the realistic stuff that you want. So what do you guys think? Is it good for the industry, or is it?
Well, the first thing I thought when I heard the news was, wow, is there a better endorsement for NFL 2K5 than EA effectively destroying the competition by buying the NFL? I mean, it just goes to show you, what strong competition that game was, both in content and the price that it came out at for $20. Is it a good thing for football games? Probably not. I mean, you're talking about any time there's a lack of competition, oftentimes it follows just a lack of innovation. Right. And I'm not saying that EA may not, they may not rest on their laurels, but
now they don't have anybody pushing them.
They don't have anybody pushing them, exactly.
So what do you think? What do you think about
I
this?
agree. I think it's horrible for the industry. Now, I kind of sit on the other side of the fence from a lot of GameSpot areas as to what my favorite football game is. But as Bryan just said, competition is a good thing.
And just so people know, Madden is your favorite.
Yeah, I've been playing Madden since '95, and it is my favorite game. But I respect the GameSpot consensus that ESPN is a better game, and it has a lot to it. And if it's only $20, then everyone who likes sports games should be playing that game right now, and they should be playing it every year for years to come because it's a great game.
Right.
Now, however, I think one thing that we have to make sure to point out is EA is getting a lot of flack for this, saying they're a big evil corporation.
Right.
When all that they just happen to be the ones that had the most money. Because although they have admitted to pursuing this license for some time, the NFL and their executives were the ones that sat down and said, you know what, we're going to make our license exclusive. Everybody with money, how much will you give us?
Right.
So it was the NFL that finally made a decision that said, we want an exclusive license to, what was the words, to protect our license or something like that?
Something
Or
like
do you know
that,
more
yeah.
about this? Or
No, I don't. I just know that, I read a story yesterday on CNN that talking about this may be a short-sighted decision on the part of the NFL and the NFLPA, because just because EA paid $300 million now for the license, in 5 years, in 2009, when the license up for renewal again, and Madden has been the sole NFL game, EA may be in a position where they can just pay whatever they want to renew, because there's been no business competition to make it compelling that someone will raise a bid and say, we want the NFL back. EA will just say, no, this is what we're going to pay now. Right. So it may be a bad decision for the long term for the NFL and the NFLPA.
Now, another thing that I think we should point out is that the NFL has exclusive deals with other things, like with their jersey manufacturers, like Reebok, I think, is the only people that make their jerseys. And I'm sure isn't like a sports drink that they have exclusive.
Gatorade, I guess.
Exactly. But where they're going wrong, I think, with Madden and this exclusive license is there's nothing, in my experience, more dangerous than an angry pack of nerds. And if you get all these smart people and all these great gamers together, and they know how to make, all these people, they know how to make a lot of noise, and it'll be interesting to see who listens.
Well, there's been tons of petitions online. We've seen, I've been asked to sign about 1 billion petitions, and it's people
it's
want...
It's a firestorm, right?
Yeah, they want their voice to be heard, and whether it'll make a difference in the long run, who knows? But right now, people are angry.
And now, one of the things we started looking at was to see if there was actually a precedent or if there was anything like this in the past. And like we said, EA does have licenses, other companies do have licenses, but one that's kind of similar to this story is something that happened in Japan in 2000. Konami, for those of you who don't know, Konami actually bought the rights to the Japanese Professional Baseball League. They had it, and basically they did the same thing. They kind of sewed up the rights to the players, teams, and all that stuff. And depending on what you look at, there's a couple stories that you can find out there. We did try to find out specifically all the stuff, and we did see, Konami, if you go looking, you'll find Konami's official response to this particular story. They basically had it all sewn up, but there was a whole bunch of people, Japanese Fair Trade Commission, there was Square, certainly, who had that really cool, realistic-looking baseball game for the PS2, if you remember it. It looked really good when they first announced it because it looked really cool, and then we got a hold of it and it didn't play so great. But either way, it was a game that they were promoting that had the real teams, the real stadiums, the real players, and Konami was like, whatever, you can't do that. We have the exclusive rights to the license. So if you look, you'll find some stories, and basically the way it played out was in the Japanese, there's some court action that happened, but ultimately it came down to the fact that, Konami realized that they had paid all this money for this license, but what they could do is they could license it out to these other companies. And so they were, Square licensed it out, and they had the stuff in there. And there was also some other interesting things surrounding that. Basically, there was some talk as to whether stadiums, are they, can you really have the rights to the name of the stadium?
Right.
But at that point, does it matter? If you don't have the teams and the players and the logos for all that stuff, if you have something that's alike, does it really matter if you have the actual stadium name?
I don't know. Heinz Field 2K6 sounds pretty cool.
But yeah, so there is some precedent on that. Whether you look at that and look at what we have going on today, there is some stuff, and it'll be interesting to see, no matter how it shakes out, if this is truly going to be the one and only NFL football game for the next 5 years. It'll be interesting to see, because you remember, you can tell me, actually, you can tell the folks, there was a time even Madden didn't have the teams and players, right?
Right. I mean, I think it was, 93 or 94 that they first got licensed to use the stadiums and logos, and then the year after they, back in the Tecmo Bowl days, we weren't using Jerry Rice or whatever. We were throwing to number 81 or whatever, or number 80, whoever it was, and they finally signed an agreement with the NFLPA to use those names. So license disputes are nothing new in the industry. It's just now it's just a really dramatic new twist in the story.
Right. And it happens to be with one of the, if not the biggest game in video games, right? It's crazy.
It is crazy, and it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. It's hopefully there will be another football game, be it ESPN or be it some, they bring back Fever or something like that to fight the good fight. Make a new Tecmo Bowl,
Please.
Yeah.
Mutant League football, anything. Make a football game.
I mean, there was some responses. Like, for instance, you're talking about making more games. It's like Midway came out right away, and they were just like, okay, whatever, yeah, fine. We're gonna make Blitz, and it's gonna be even crazier now that we don't have the license. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff flying around.
Yeah.
So there's one comment on it already. You look at I guess Sega, they did comment on it too, or Take-Two in fact, and they were just like, yeah, this is bad. This is not necessarily good for the industry as a whole. We actually did try to contact Visual Concepts, or I should say Sega, and see if they had any comments on this, and they declined at this point. Understandably, probably trying to figure out what they're going to do. Yeah. If I was there, I would be trying to figure out what I was going to do too.
I can't imagine though that just because EA's wrapped up the Madden license, that football games are dead, because it's too popular a sport in our nation. I mean, people. It's the argument, is America's pastime baseball or football? Well, in the video game world, I'd argue it's football.
Right.
And the market has room for more than one football game. And so we'll see others,
Hopefully.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So would you guys play a game if it didn't have the real teams and players?
Oh, totally.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, as long as if it was a realistic football game and if it was a good, solid game, yeah. I mean, I own both ESPN and Maddens. Yeah, I play both of them. They're both good games.
Right.
Sure.
And people play Winning 11, the Winning 11 series, and that's not had the official, the FIFA's wrapped up that with the EA, and people love the Winning 11 series. So, we might be in there adjusting the rosters and things like that, but people love it.
I know. I definitely want to hear from you folks at home. That's why I want to open it up today. On the spot at GameSpot.com is the email address for everybody. I want to hear people send in your questions, your comments, anything about the NFL, EA license deal, as well as the PSP. I'm getting the sign to wrap it up here.
We have 4 minutes left of tape, Dave says.
Okay,
so how about we just take the comments we already have right now?
All right.
Mr. Chupon, New York City, this will be the only question. He has a good one. How much do you think EA's financial investment in the exclusive rights to the game affected their bottom line? Basically, I think is what he's saying is like, how much money was ESPN stealing from EA to make it worth to invest $300 million or whatever it is over the next 5 years?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was $300 million. That was the supposed.
Well, they were, in May, I heard rumors of $1 billion.
That's right. They had that in Sports Business Journal or something. They had to run a retraction.
Right. So it could actually. Oh, really?
If it's anywhere between $300 and $1 billion, I don't think EA would have made this decision if they didn't think it was going to be worth their time and their money.
Right.
So it may affect them short term, but in the long term, I think they knew what they okay with doing.
Right on.
Cool. Let's give out some stuff.
Excellent. Let's do it.
All right, quick announcement. First of all, before we give out stuff, this is the last show before the holiday break. We'll be back. We'll be back in January.
That's right.
Sure. We'll see you then. So send in us a good 2 weeks worth of questions. We'll see the best of them. Last week we gave away some Star Wars posters. Mr. Roque Bernardes Neto in Goiânia, Goiás, Brazil. I butchered that terribly. You won yourself some Star Wars posters. Congratulations. Bryan and I have right here to give away the official banner of the Madden Challenge.
Freshly stolen.
Torn straight off the walls on our way to the airport. If you'd like to win one, send in using the form you see on the page right now. As a GameSpot Complete member, I want you to put your full name, your mailing address, and I want the nickname that you would have if you were in the Madden Challenge. We saw Young Nephew, we saw Big Gene, we saw The Natural, we saw all kinds of great nicknames. Send in yours. Ryan, what?
I'd be Big Grandma.
You'd be Big Grandma.
And I think we might actually have some pictures of a couple of the PS2 winners.
Oh, that's right. Good call. Do we have those queued up real quick?
Let's go take a look.
This is Mr. Wolfhope, I think. Jeff Wolfhope, I think that was his name. He won his PS2. And this is Galen Wiley of California. And Galen is donating his PlayStation 2 to Penny Arcade's Child's Play.
Oh, wow.
So the needy kids will get to play it. And Galen has a nice... that's a nice thing to do. That's a nice thing to do. Nice gesture, and everyone else, I'm sure you feel a little bad inside because you're keeping yours and playing it.
Anyways, before Dave shoots us all, I got this crazy cool Metal Gear Solid 3 fake album CD soundtrack that we got from Japan.
It's got one song on it.
It got some program stuff that's got some cool pictures of people.
Got some
and stuff
postcards and stickers and a little action figure, Kubrick action figure.
Metal Gear Solid thing?
Yeah, no, not the paper. How are you giving that away, Ryan?
We're going to go ahead and take the first person that sends us a thing in that has the ultimate last bad guy in Metal Gear Solid 3. If you know the name of that person, send it in.
With your mailing address.
Boom, mailing
address. Great. Should we get out of here?
We should totally get out of here.
All right, so next January, folks, there will be a lot of great games coming out. Mecha Assault 2 is coming out over the break. We got a copy of Jungle Beat we'll be playing next time on the show. All kinds of crazy PSP and DS madness for all of the crew who worked so good at the show. For Ricardo coming by, Bryan for coming by.